Let's talk about Fastly. I know some of you have been swinging my Fastly play. Um, a few of you went 30K in, 40K in. The max I know someone put in on this position was 40K. We do have until June. Some of us got in at $3.70. I know we averaged down. My average ended up being around 240. I sold half of my position. I'm still holding the rest. I know the person that did put the 30K in is up over 100% after a week of holding this. Now it's nice to hold that entire position. Just make sure it doesn't fall below $3. Our upside is all the way to the $34, $35 price level. Huge upside. We're talking about 1,400% run on a contract that expires in 3.5 months. Great time on this, great discount. All we need is momentum. And as long as Fastly chunks up every single day and doesn't, hold steady, we should see some nice return. And my price target, short-term price target for these contracts is $10, roughly. I'll be taking most of my profits at 10. I also wouldn't be surprised if Fastly did pull back to $3 level. If we do pull back to $3, I'll be doubling my position on this contract at around $3. Um, just looking for a nice discount. But the way this is moving, we're up over 100% on 3 month out contracts, which is nice. We're looking to see if we could get another 100% return, which would be pretty good. From $5 to 10, we'll be doubling our money again, which means we got 400% return. I wouldn't be surprised if we have a 400% return by this Friday, as long as the market doesn't crash. But do keep in mind, it most likely will pull back to $3 before we get to $10. Um, if it doesn't, that's great. Market's going to keep pumping, but just definitely keep that top of your watch list. Uh, so the first stock on my watch list for that we called up last week is THBR. I mentioned last week Sunday, get in. 30% of my long-term portfolio is in THBR. I mentioned I'd gotten in on. I mentioned that I would be getting in on Monday. I picked some up at around $10.05, pretty much very close to the bottom. And most SPACs don't go below $10. There are very few SPACs that have ever stayed below $10. And usually intraday, if we do break below 10, yeah, it usually pops right back up. And I don't usually recommend betting on SPACs, but if you are getting into a SPAC that is trading at the same price it opened at months before, um, it's a no-brainer unless it's a no-brainer with only upside, and the only downside risk is if the merger doesn't go through. And the really nice thing about THBR is that they announced that they would be releasing the date they're going to have their merger in quarter 3, and there are pretty much only 3 weeks left in quarter 3. So if you play that out, we're getting it at a discount price. This is what we pretty much opened at. 3 weeks left, huge upside. This should easily have spiked at the $10 price tag. I know some of you picked up the contracts we entered into on Tuesday at $1.90. That's up over 70%. I did take some profits here. I'm looking for a pullback on THBR tomorrow. It would be nice to see TH pull back to maybe the $11 range. Remember, this is going to be a little shaky, maybe until the end of this week before it starts to run. But I am still long on THBR, and I wouldn't be surprised if we do see 14, $15 within the next week. Price target on this is $24. But I only recommend getting in this if you were holding at the bottom, and you might be able to get a nice price tag around the 11s or maybe high 10s. We'll see if we can get that at a discount tomorrow. So THBR is the first one on our list. Second one is Bumble. Bumble's momentum on Friday was pretty nice. It kept bouncing up, down, holding on the 3-minute chart. Pretty nice trade on the 3-minute chart. It hit our ascending triangle at the 70s level and just dropped all the time. Kyle, you have something?
Gummy bears. All right.
What'd you say, Kyle?
Sorry, I hope you guys didn't. I was yelling at my girlfriend, letting her know we have some gummy bears in the kitchen.
Oh, okay.
I
Cool.
thought I was on mute. My bad.
You're all good. You're all good. Let's see. Yeah, so Bumble, we're looking at if you're day trading Bumble, pick it up on the 3 minute chart intraday. Um, so that's the number one. That's the best one to keep on your watch list for tomorrow. So we got Bumble.
Wait,
We
Sage,
got
are you bearish Bumble like long term? Like if you look at
uh,
the long term charts.
yeah. I'm not bullish on Bumble super long. I mean, they also have their lockup period. I think Bumble should sink towards their lockup period. Um, I could easily see them at 57, if not under the 50s. But Bumble could spike to around 75 before it does pull down. So I'm just waiting for that momentum. But I'm looking to play some puts. Some small long-term puts out on Bumble are pretty decent for me. Um,
Mm-hmm.
so that's what I'm watching.
Yes, but like the thing how I feel about Bumble is like if you the only counterpart in the stock that you could compare to this to is Match Group, but Match Group owns like 5 different things. They own Match.com, Tinder, all these things. But Bumble, like their only revenue is if people pay for this premium service or selling data. Like I don't see how Bumble can be necessarily like as profitable for say as Match Group. That's why like in general like how can this be like a bullish long term like unless they get acquired by someone, but like, don't you agree? Like, this is just some dating app. Like, this is literally only one product. That's I don't understand this.
One trick pony. That's what I like to call them too. I can't stand one trick ponies. Like,
Exactly. No, I mean Bumble long term really has no place. It should be holding low 50s, 40s. They'll always have a revenue stream. Their user count is continuing to increase. Um, but unless some competitor really breaks down their market and takes away a significant chunk, we're not going to see it go anywhere. But I am.
No,
What?
what I was saying was it's a free app. Okay, now the majority of their users are obviously free users. Now,
Facebook's free.
okay, yes, that's true, but like we're talking about a dating app here. Like, I
Yeah,
mean,
sure. Those are completely different. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, no, I mean Bumble, no matter if people pay or not, I mean they most likely make more money from just selling user data every time someone opens the application. Um,
It doesn't
and
matter. Tinder made 1.4 billion last year in revenue.
Tinder's owned by the Match Group. They have it's structured differently corporate rather than Bumble. Just keep that in mind.
Couldn't this be a competitor?
What is Bumble in the 1 year?
It just IPO'd.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm out of the loop with that. Seems weird though, Like,
yeah, I mean it's too early to tell. I mean they have their lockup period. Most likely, a lot of employees got their stock at around $30 a piece, $35 a piece. But Bumble holding this type of valuation, there's really no sound reason that it should be valued this high. If it does somehow drop to the 30s, it is a good swing from the 30s up, just because the valuation and the amount of revenue they do earn from user data is continuing to increase. User data is the most valuable commodity out there right now, and its value is continuing to go up. So if Bumble does continue to have a growing user base, they will make more money, even if more people are going to Tinder and Match.com and other competitors. But yeah, Bumble is just something to keep on your radar for intraday. Um, and it's just something that has a nice 30% return if you get the direction right on an option. So that's all that I'm calling out for Bumble. So we got.
Can I ask you about Roblox? Anybody heard about this thing?
Yeah, so
I
we took a
wouldn't touch it.
we took a swing on Roblox on the day they IPO'd. I posted in general that I would be picking up my yeah. So I picked it up on what do you call it, the day they IPO'd, because the level 2 volume was showing a lot of millionaires getting in at 10 million a position, 15 million a position, and just
Can I
looking at.
weigh in on before you continue? Can I just weigh in on this? The date IPO'd is the same day that GME crashed from 350 down to 192, right? So apparently that crash was all of those guys on Wall Street bet and the voice chat yelling sell, 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 and buy Roblox. Just keep that in mind.
Got
Went up
it.
pretty high, but it's come down a lot too.
Yeah, no, Roblox it is overvalued for an IPO. It is a great company. Long Roblox should easily see $200. It's a really good company. They have a good structure, good executive team. But in terms of the swing play, I know one person is still in the swing play. I'm not sure if anyone else is. But I called it out when it was $69. And I did sell it at pre-market at 89 to 87, my whole entire position. I put 40% of my portfolio in Roblox. So I'm completely out. And I know some people did take profits at the 78s and sold out completely. But it's pretty indicative, especially if Roblox does run up 30% the day they IPO and pulls back to your buy position, you would sell. It's very indicative of a bearish trend. But yeah, I'm watching Roblox tomorrow. Well, whoever called it out. I'm not long on. Yeah, I'm not long on it right now. This entry was just a swing, take profit, and then let it run, because a lot of employees are going to be selling out stocks and their positions as we get closer to their lockup period.
Okay. Can I ask you also about Bitcoin stocks like Mara and Riot?
Oh yeah, so about Riot, I 100% will be trading Riot tomorrow, but I'm not trading Riot to the upside. Most likely, Riot could easily see 75 to 80 tomorrow. I wouldn't be surprised if we open in the 70s.
About Mara, I grabbed a Mara call.
Mara should go up pretty much proportionally in terms of contract mobility as Riot. You could probably see a 100% return on your contract if it's about at least 2 weeks out. It just depends if Bitcoin holds tonight.
Indeed. My contract's for the 19th, so I'll be watching.
Awesome, yeah, watch it pretty well. I'll be trading. I'll be entering into shorts tomorrow on Riot, and I'm playing shorts on the 5-minute chart for Riot. High RSI. So what I'll be doing is I'm just watching, and I'm waiting for that volume break. Watch the volume up here. Watch this number. I'm waiting for volume to start to taper, and you see we're going from 400,000, 380,000, 273,000, 182,000. Right? We're starting to progressively decrease, not in small amounts, in quite large amounts. We're decreasing. The buying pressure is starting to taper off. And if we go to this candle here, we see a 400,000 sell-off, a large sell-off candle, but small creeps up. And I'm watching that on the 5-minute chart. And this is where I'll start building my short position. The probability here on the 5-minute chart is 58, 58 to 42. You might win only 8% of the time. But if you do get that correct, you have the 8% upside. And if you do get that correct short, you'll make a lot, especially if you have a large account and you want to just play a share, you can make a quick 10, 15% if you do it correctly. Even on the put side, from here all the way here, we're talking at least a 50% return on the day. So I 100% will be shorting Riot tomorrow. I never short Riot or play Riot the first 30 minutes of trading. I only trade Riot around 10:05 and after. And if it's pumping, great, it's pumping. And I'm only going to play Riot to the downside tomorrow. We really don't know how much it's going to go up. Bitcoin could see 65 tomorrow, 64. But I only want to play Riot to the downside. And on my shorts, I do sell by the end of the day. So I'll be watching Riot tomorrow. If you are holding Riot long and it does open above 70, just watch to see if it holds above 70 and then 72. It does hold the Elliott wave pattern pretty well if you do have your indicators open. So that's the next one on my watch list.
I agree with you that on Sage. And as far as going long on Bitcoin plays, I wouldn't go long on Mara or Riot. Like I would go long at them back then, but if you're trying to go long Bitcoin, I would go long on HUTMF or something. But also, thing I was thinking about and I heard from is there's a limited supply of Bitcoin. So if you're trying to hold one of these companies as a long-term investment in your retirement portfolio, that's not a smart idea because only one of these companies will eventually win and have the best technology because they're like all competing with each other for the same Bitcoin. It's not like because there's a limited supply, so like that's something to keep in mind for any long investors.
Exactly. So if a lot of you are along Bitcoin, definitely watch your position. Nobody knows how high we're gonna go. No one knows how low we're gonna go. But the best thing you can do is hedge, and diversify your portfolio if need be. So I have two more stocks on the top of my radar. The first one is CMG.
Wait! I
CMG
called this one. I had to stop. I called this one in the last stream. Again, I said it in the chat. Was ignored many times. I called this one.
and Gali did call it out, but at the time, the option contracts were moving pretty well. But I did keep it on my watch list. I do add all your plays to my watch list, and I just try to see what's the most optimal entry for us. So I'll give you credit for CMG. But for CMG, I'm looking at the March 19 contracts, and I'm looking at $1,500 calls tomorrow. I'll be watching these, and you guys got to really take a look at the momentum on these. You probably won't see it for yesterday, but they just move really. There's very little volume, but they move pretty wild in each direction. Obviously, this wasn't a good trading day. CMG didn't move at all much on Friday, but I'll be watching this specific contract tomorrow. So if I do say entering into CMG calls, I'll be picking up these 19. So you guys could go an additional week or two out. And I never take the ask, right? I try to do the mid price. But I'm watching these. I will be entering in a smaller position, 2 to 5K, and then picking that up. I'm in profit. So CMG, and I'm looking for a break around 1465 before I start that entry. 1465.
Wait, look at the 5-day chart though. Like if you played in the money options, any of those, like if the 5-day, 5-minute, like right that or 15, whatever one you want to do. Look at this. Like this is just a clean from any time. And you could have gotten in any one of these trading days and bought in the money calls. You would have made money.
Yeah, and the money calls are holding pretty well. I'm just looking for major upside, if especially for a lot of traders in their group who are limited to 3-day trades a week. You want your day trade to count for something. You don't want to see a 10% run. If you can get a 100% runner, let's do it.
But there was days where this went up like 40 points in a day. Now that's like a lot of money if you're in the money.
Maybe that's I think 40 points is going to be like about 2.5% on the stock, which 40 points might sound like a lot, but on the IV, I don't know how much return we would get.
But there would be intrinsic value added to it. So like if the option's trading at $9 when you bought it, and then it goes up, the 40 basis points goes in the stock, that means the option has to be worth at least $49.
It'd go up a bit, yeah. No, I'll watch it tomorrow. But I definitely like that you called it out. You had a good call out on CMG for the volume play, so I like that. So that's on my watch for tomorrow. The next one on my list for tomorrow is going to be EH. I'll be scalping on the 5-minute chart as well, and I'm looking for the break above the mid volume weighted average. This will be a weekly swing, so I'm looking to develop my weekly swing on EH. I'm still long on my other positions. We called out 3 signals on Friday. Let's see what the 3 signals were. So the 3 signals I called out on Friday were calls on the SPY dip, Square, and Tesla. Let's see how they all played out on Friday. I know some of you are still holding it.
I'm holding Square because I had no day trades left, sir.
I feel awesome. Yeah, our Tesla calls went up 80%, over 80%. Our Square calls went up over 50%, and our SPY calls went up over 100%. So we're 3 for 3 on the day trades on Friday, and I only did day trades on Friday just because some members wanted some more day trades. I know some of you didn't want the swings I was putting you in. But even all of our swings are really nicely positive. You know, I know nobody's really talking about it, but I had a lot of you swing Cat B. And Cat B ran all the way up to $4.8, and we all got in at around $3.10, $3.20 max. No one got it higher than that, but we ran all the way to $4.70 pre-market on Wednesday, Thursday, and I took profit at $4.50, bought back in at $3.20, and I'm looking for another break to the upside. And if this does fall down to $3.30, I'll probably cut my position and just let it run. But I'm looking to see momentum come back to run this back up to $4 for another quick play. I'm still long on Cat B. So congrats to those who swang it with us. You do, you know, most of the time, I know you guys want day trades, but I know you guys want more day trades, but these swings have as much upside as those day trades, and you just have to have some patience with it. But hopefully some of you picked up the 3 day trades we picked up on Friday, and I want you guys to watch Tesla tomorrow if you do have the capital for it. Tesla's a really nice money maker if you're playing it to the put side tomorrow, especially if you're playing Tesla on the 7-minute chart. Just watch as it breaks below, you know, as it starts to pull back off of its resistance point, typically around 700. And if we do pull back, I'll be playing some puts. So keep that in mind. Cool.
Wait,
So that's-
wait, Sage. So I just have a question. So like I was talking about the travel industry. Like if you look at like cruise lines, like these, they're at the bell, there was a lot of volume that was coming into like NCLH and CCL, like CCL particularly. Like I think like a lot of volume was coming in.
Yeah, I mean, and that's expected. You know, as more people are returning back, more people are being vaccinated. We're gonna have cruise lines and jets going up slowly. So definitely, it's fine to be bullish on those. It makes sense that those will all be going back up, and they all fall under TNA, right? Microcap, and as long as TNA is pointing up, you should expect the travel industry to keep pointing up, the airlines to keep pointing up, SeaWorlds, Disney's to keep pointing up. You know, TNA is indicative of that market continuing to go up. Cool.
As far as tomorrow, do you think that those are going to go up? Just because, I mean, I just think that like I was in the gym, they was putting on CNN, and they were talking about how like again people are like traveling for spring break, domestic travel is high, and as like more vaccinations continue, like I think that with spring breaks as March, this spring break season, like more reports are going to come out about people flocking to Florida, and I think that's going to drive these up in value, especially like airlines, because domestic travel is like at a high.
Well, 100%. I mean, you have to think of it from this perspective, right? Most of the people flocking to all of these places, they value the stimulus, right? And what are people going to do with the stimulus? They're probably going to throw it in the market. If you're hearing that news, so is millions of other Americans. And when they hear that news, they believe that this stock will go up. So when they hear people are going to Disney, they're all going to buy into Disney thinking it's going to go up, which is highly likely, right? As more people buy it at a premium, it will continue to pop off, right? So it's highly likely that these all long term will continue to go up as more people just buy into the news. But as a trader who probably will have a bit more information than the public, you know, there's more upside to not trading Disney than trading a stock that has more upside. You know, a lot of the upside is already priced in and it will continue to go up, but we're not seeing a huge return. I mean, maybe you'll get a 10%, 15% in 2 months. But you know, it's not really worth, you know, especially if you're limited on trades, to ride something like that. You know, ride a leveraged position if you're going to do something like that. You know, if you think Disney and MGM and you think Orlando and SeaWorld and American Airlines are all going to go up, you might as well play TNA leveraged. You know, you get 3x off of the micro caps and you're getting way more return. I mean, look, from Friday, in 1 week, we went from 83 to 108, over a 28% return. How much are you getting on Disney, you know? 190 to 197, right? Not much, you know. Same thing on Jets, right? 25 to 27, very little return. You know, it's small change, and yes, it's still good to be in the green, but the whole market was green last week. You know, we bounced. You know, there's really no reason that a position should be super down or no one won on their swing position last week. You know, everything recovered for the most part. So I think, you know, you should pick up the best value stock that's going to pop off the most, which we see. That's really it on my perspective going forward.
All right, and also just before you go, can you look at ANF, because that was something that was on my watch list. I did see that run up. I didn't buy in ANF. That one right there. If you saw that, they had good earnings like AEO as expected, and I just played AEO instead. But this one went up a lot.
I wouldn't buy into ANF until if it can pull back to around the $32 level. You know, it really needs to hold support. This is really not a true support. High RSI, high buying. It isn't a short-term buying position. We could see $35 tomorrow, but I personally won't really. You know, if you want to play shorts or if you want to go long, I would wait for 32.
All right,
Cool.
thank you.
Yep, no problem. Does anyone else have any other questions? Cool.
Yeah, just what do you see overall if you had to take a shot in the dark at the SPY for the week, Monday and Monday open, and then just throughout the week? What would you say?
You know, when we were playing SPY on Friday, just the way it was moving, it was such a high probability that SPY would break 394, and you could really tell that a lot of Robinhood traders, you know, this is really something to keep in mind. You know, 99% of traders trade on this down. They trade on this down. You know, a lot of traders were picking up puts here. You know, if you look at the volume and you were looking at all the contracts being bought, you see a lot of Robinhood traders picking up puts all the way down for the week. And then they, you know, it starts to pull back up. They're selling at a loss. They're picking up their puts and now they're selling at a loss, and they feel that SPY is too high, and you don't want to trade off of that. You know, just trade off of the overall momentum. And you know, there was absolutely no reason for SPY to pull back. So we're just looking for a 395 break on SPY. If SPY breaks 395, we're going to 397 by like Wednesday, and around 400 by Friday. Now there is a resistance at 400. I will be going into very, very heavy puts if SPY touches around 400. You know, 399.70. I'm starting my put position. I expect there being a high probability that SPY will touch close to 400 and pull back sharply before trying to break it. And I want to catch that scalp. That scalp can net me a quick 50 to 80% return on the 0-day contract. So I'll be playing SPY, but we could see 400 this week pretty easily before I pull back. But also, you know, UVXY is also going up, which is indicative of volatility in the market. If UVXY does break above $8, I'll be wary of SPY even getting to 340 by the end of the week. So just keep a watch for UVXY. But that's my take.
What economic data is coming out this week?
Thank you.
Not sure. Does anybody know what news is coming out this week?
Just more stimulus news and stuff like that.
No,
What
not
were you
that.
thinking?
Not that news. I'm talking about like reports from the government as far as like
Or
the like a retail reports,
Income, debt, right.
job reports, retail reports, unemployment, etc. Stuff like that.
I guess I don't know what news is coming out, but if anybody finds any
we got
information,
DocBot command for that. Let me
Yeah.
hit up Alex. We got something for that.
awesome. Yeah, if you guys find anything, post it up. But you know, we can find it. But you know, as a good trader, you should be trading off of momentum. You know, so if any good news is coming out, we'll see. Momentum will play into it. But but I usually don't really follow what change is going to be happening. You know, if I see momentum in one direction, I'll pick it up. But cool. If you guys see any stocks, call it out in general chat. Any other questions, feel free to DM me or any of the analysts in the group. It looks like we have a new analyst starting tomorrow, Frozen Signals. So if you guys pick up one of his signals or a few of his signals, see how it works for you. You know, don't go super heavy. He's a new analyst. If you like his trades and if you think he would be a good addition to the team. But cool. All right, take care, everyone.
Hey, thank you, Sage.
No problem.